Hello, everybody, and thank you very much for joining me for another Westworld review. Today I will be talking about Season 1, Episode 8, Trace Decay, and as always, there will be episode spoilers. And I have to say, I thought that Trace Decay was a pretty good episode title, pretty clever considering what happened throughout this episode. And I thought this episode was mostly satisfying, although I will say that there is one storyline that I wish would pick up a little bit. So I'll start with kind of the side plots first. We did get some more Dolores and William this week, and Dolores is just really confused. She's not sure what's real and what's not. And a lot of this isn't really that interesting, in my opinion. The storyline does pick up a little bit towards the end when they run into Logan, and it seems like he's been looking for them, and they are now in trouble. Hopefully, this will get this storyline going. It's not terrible, but I don't feel like it's really as interesting as everything else that's going on in the show right now. So another big thing that happened this week was that Bernard is upset over what he did to Teresa, but Ford's not too upset about this. He kind of just goes with the flow, and he wants Bernard to cover it up, so Bernard says he can handle it, and Dr. Ford says in exchange he will get rid of these memories that Bernard had, and Bernard won't know anything about it, although I'm not sure that this is really going to work. So they make it look like Teresa just fell by accident, but Charlotte, who's still involved, is not too sure about this. She reinstates Bernard, but she does not look all that happy about it. Still not sure what Charlotte's true motives are, but Tessa Thompson is a nice addition to the show. I feel like she's doing a good job. This leads to Charlotte having another scene with Lee, and she wants him to do a job for her, and I'll just leave it at that. Then we get an interesting Ford-Bernard scene later in the episode where Ford compares humans to hosts and says they're not really that different. And the way he explains it, the comparison works. Once again, Sir Anthony Hopkins is very good as always, and I have no real complaints with any of these scenes. But the two main plot lines today definitely involved Maeve and the Man in Black, so I will start with Maeve first. She wants to be reprogrammed again, as we find out it will be very difficult for her to leave. Felix and Sylvester are still working with her, but they argue as Sylvester wants to get rid of her. He says we can basically just knock her out and eliminate her. But Felix, of course, doesn't go along with this. He tricks Sylvester. And at this point, Maeve almost kills Sylvester. He's still alive to the best of my knowledge because she says they might need him. But this was a pretty gruesome scene, and I don't think he'll be messing with Maeve anymore. I'll just say that. It's also notable that Maeve goes back to work, and she's changing a lot of things in the town around. She now has Hector and Armistice working for her, it looks like, which was a nice touch. These scenes were all pretty well done as well. Then we have the Man in Black and Teddy. They're still looking for Wyatt. But problems start when Teddy has flashbacks. He remembers what the Man in Black did to Dolores. So he basically hits him and ties him up. It's also notable that they pick up this girl that they meet along the way. So we get more backstory on the Man in Black, and Ed Harris does a nice job. His performance is really understated, but I think he's doing a great job with the character. We learn that his wife passed away and that his daughter basically blames him. And the reason he came back to Westworld was to test himself and see what he was really made of. I always appreciate more backstory into the characters, and I thought this was very well done. So we learn this is why he did the evil deed that he did with Maeve when he tried to kill her, and he did kill her daughter. And ultimately, this is what led him to the maze, as he wants to get a deeper meaning, basically, out of this whole experience. So at this point, we get flashbacks that are kind of intercut with his story, and they're well done. We learn this is why Maeve was reprogrammed, because she just couldn't handle the feelings of her daughter being killed. So her narrative was basically changed by Ford at this point. So we go back to Teddy and the Man in Black. The girl that they met wants Teddy to eliminate the Man in Black, but Teddy can't do it. But it turns out they're in big trouble because the girl basically turns on Teddy and injures him, and it turns out that she was working for Wyatt the whole time. So a pretty clever twist that I didn't see coming. It was hidden well in the episode, and overall this episode was solid. I just kind of wished that the Dolores and William scenes would pick up. But other than that, another very solid episode all the way around. Nothing earth-shattering other than maybe the revelation at the end, but still a very fast-paced episode where a lot of things happened, and only 2 episodes left in this first season, although there will be a season 2 now for sure. So things will get interesting from here. I'm definitely still all on board, and I am going to give Trace Decay a 4 out of 5. Another solid episode, and it will be interesting to see what happens the last couple weeks. So if you'd like to, you can leave me a comment, tell me what you thought of this episode and what you're looking forward to in the last 2 episodes. So a 4 out of 5 for Trace Decay, and as always, thank you very much for watching.